guys, welcome back to my Florida Garden Escape channel. I'm happy to have you guys. So as it's another rainy day here in North Florida, what can I say? What we're going to currently do is we're going to do some transplanting of our seedlings. If you haven't checked it out, we did a complete tour of our garden. It was a little fast as it was raining that day as well. But if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out in the description below. I'll leave a link for it. Also, guys, show your guys' support. Hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. And don't forget to hit that bell so that way you don't miss out on any new videos. But if you are already subscribed and you've already hit that like button, you are amazing and we love you as always. But we're going to go ahead and jump into this transplanting of our seedlings. So let's go. So I went ahead and got our solo cups here together. Now as you guys can see, these solo cups do have several holes at the bottom, so that way they have plenty of drainage. Now the soil that you see in these solo cups are our marigold soil that you hear us talk a lot about here at Florida Garden Escape. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the seedlings we're getting ready to transplant, as this is going to be one whole tray here, so I got to lift it up. And I got to be real careful because there's roots at the bottom. I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys what we got going on here. These are all the seedlings we're going to be transplanting today. As you guys can probably see, there is some roots sticking out at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and get these guys transplanted. I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to go about getting these guys transplanted. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and start with our Space Master bud. And what I'm going to do is, instead of tipping the whole tray over, I'm just going to slightly squeeze on the bottom of this cup here. Now that's going to push that soil out and it's going to bring that seedling up. And then I'm just going to grab this seedling and just kind of pull it slightly up here to bring it up out of that solo tray. Now there is going to be all in one clump here, so I'm trying to grab it. Alright, there we go. And there's going to be our first seedling, and I'm going to set it down here in our cup. Now, with this one, thankfully, the roots weren't real deep, so I didn't have to dig too far down for that seedling. But I'm just going to place the seedling in the cup here. And I'm going to have to reconstruct it here because I didn't preset the spot for it. So let's go ahead and get it in. Gonna set this tray aside, put it on top of this other one since it's not doing anything currently. We're gonna get a little dirty here today. Alright, and I'm just gonna bring this. We got two here, guys, so take a look. As I was getting ready to move it, he's got a whole second little seedling in here, which is a-okay. I can move him out and I'll bring him to a separate section So what I'm going to do here is, as you guys can see, the soil is definitely falling apart here, which is fine. We want it to kind of come apart here because I'm going to need to take these two seedlings apart. But I'm just going to take this knife and kind of poke it down here, create a hole spacing here for the little seedlings, so that way they can get quite comfy here. Now I don't want to get my seedlings too root bounded, and then it's a lot harder to transplant the seedlings. Now I'm just going to slightly shake the seedling up just a little bit here, get the soil knocked around a little bit. As you can see, it's not totally wet, so it makes it a lot easier for us to handle the soil. Now there goes that seedling. I'm just going to take this little guy here and I'm going to put him in his own little solo cup. And this one, I'm just going to go ahead and place him right on in here. Now you're probably wondering what I'm going to do with this little guy. Just because he's a new little seedling, I'm just going to make just a slight hole here for him to start kind of rooting in there. And I'm just going to pack him down. And we are just going to leave him barely covered here in his solo cup. Now with this guy, I'm also going to leave this one in our grow tent since he is just a new little seedling. And he'll definitely be one to stay in that solo cup. Alright, so we are going to leave this seedling in his solo cup, and we're just going to put this cup back in here. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to take our little label here that says Space Master. I'm just going to put it with the seedling so that way I don't forget what seedling that is. Now with the rest of them, what we're going to do is, as you guys can see, we got this guy in his new little home. With the other seedlings we got here, we're going to have to split them up, and I'm going to show you really quick why I say that. As you guys can see, there's multiple in one. Now, one thing I don't want my seedlings to do is fight over each other on who gets more room of their roots. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take these guys, get these guys out of their pot, out of their slots here, and get them divided up into these three solo cups. So let's go ahead and get this done. Alright guys, now as you guys can see here, we have our three Space Master cucumbers planted. We're going to go ahead and move on to the rest and get them transplanted as well. going to be growing here is going to be our petite yellow watermelon. As it isn't fully popped out, but its root is starting to show at the bottom, which tells me it's starting to be root bounded. So we're going to go ahead and get it transplanted in its pot. Now, as you guys can see here, it is still a little bit in the soil, but its root is definitely sticking out the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get him out of there, so that way we can get him into a much better, healthier, and, well, not really healthier, but just a much better, a much happier home than where he's at currently. And with this guy, I just got to poke my finger. Thankfully, the hole at the bottom is big enough for me to poke my finger through. So I just poked my finger through there, and I'm just going to slightly put him in there. And I'm going to barely uncover him a bit, because it looks like he is struggling a bit to get out of that shell. So I'm going to just slightly pull him up here, get him out of there. There he goes, and then just slightly push this soil down here, get him comfortable in that setting. And then I'm going to kind of put soil around him. Now with him, I am gonna leave him in our grow tent, so that way I can kind of keep a very close eye on him and make sure he's doing good. But that is going to be our petite yellow watermelon there. And we are going to take his tag and stick him in there. Alright guys, so now we've got everything transplanted. I'm going to go ahead and flip you guys around and show you what we got now. Alright guys, so we have 9 Space Master Bud cucumbers ready to go out to the greenhouse and get hardied up for our big garden area. And then inside in our solo cups we have our petite yellow watermelon, along with some more Space Master cucumbers. So now what we're going to do is we are going to thoroughly water these seedlings at the base here, to make sure they get all good and watered before I do take them out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and just spray it on like that. So let's get to watering. So now that we got all these guys watered, and they're good and watered too, we're going to go ahead and let them enjoy the rest of their day in the grow tent here. And then tomorrow we'll get these guys moved out to the greenhouse. I went ahead and also watered our petite yellow watermelon as well to get their soil good and wet, along with these guys. But alright, and this is what our grow tent is currently looking like. We got everything that needed to be transplanted, and then here soon within the next couple of days we'll be transplanting these guys out into their own individual solo cups. So we got it done, guys. You were amazing. I'm glad you guys stayed tuned throughout this whole video. I hope you guys have a great and wonderful rest of your day. Deuces!